All right, hello everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming to this presentation on active shooter, how to respond. It's unfortunate that we have to be here in the first place, but the reality of the world we're living in, everybody needs to be prepared and at least think about what to do in a situation if you find yourself in a workplace violence type situation. So whether you're in the boardroom, in your office, at your cubicle, this lesson is just going to go over, make sure you have a plan in mind in the worst case scenario. So we have a very special guest today. This is Officer Rankins from Sandusky PD. He's going to be giving us a little presentation on active shooter workplace violence. So without further ado, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. As Andrew said, we're just gonna he's an Alice instructor now, and so am I. So I'm just gonna kind of touch on some of the things, but like he said, unfortunately, in this day and age, you need to be prepared. You have to have the mindset, not if it's gonna happen, is when. Unfortunately, okay, you have it in schools as we just had here in the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, we've had several incidences in the last couple of weeks here. Somebody taking a gun into a school and opening up and started shooting. The unfortunate part, the one young man went in with probably with a plan, but he failed to execute it, but because he wasn't maybe familiar with the firearm, and shot and killed himself. So that maybe I was fortunate for other folks because he took a distractionary device. So you have to be prepared, because in this day, and if you don't know what ALICE means, it stands for alert, locate, inform, counter, and evacuate. So the biggest thing is knowing where you are, what your situation is, where your offices are, knowing where exits are. Because if you hear, and you got to be familiar. A lot of people, we get a lot of calls around town for gunshots. Now some people hear fireworks, especially around the 4th of July, but they call and they say they got gunshots. If you're familiar with firearms, does anybody shoot guns at all? CCW permit? Okay. Guns have a specific sound different from a firecracker. They really do. If you're familiar with firearms, you'll be able to tell the difference. Especially in a situation, and hopefully in the next few months or sometime this year, we'll be able to get together and do some scenario-based stuff so you can understand it. And it's not to scare you, it's not to give you fear, but we do not want you to be a target, okay? That's why we're talking about knowing where your exits are, how to get out. If you have to confront somebody, we'll talk about that too. And Andrew will fill you in a little bit more on that as we go. But alert, the first part of alert, if you hear somebody enter your building and you hear gunshots, understand where the shots are coming from and understand how you can get out of the building, okay? Know where your exits are. If you have to lock yourself in, part of this is lockdown also. Part of this, unfortunately, we have some challenges in this room, okay? You could probably get this door locked here, barricade it. This one you may have a challenge. This one you may have to push the table across here or something to barricade this door to prevent somebody from coming in. I've been through many trainings on active shooters. An active shooter, if they come to a door like this and they can't get, let's say we're able to secure this from the inside. They may try to they may try to break the glass. They may try if the doors are locked, they're not going to waste their time, because an active shooter wants to get in, do his business, and get out. The average amount of time that these events happen is maybe a minute, 2 minutes, and there's another 4 or 5 minutes before police presence. So it happens very quickly. They're not going to waste their time going door to door and try to unlock a door or try to break through a door. Now the biggest active shooter, there's so many different things that are in the mind of somebody that's going to do violence to somebody. It could just be a disgruntled, especially in the workplace, it could be a disgruntled employee, okay? Maybe the boss just fired them and they just decide, I'm gonna go postal, as the old saying used to be. They're gonna get back at somebody. So it could be that, could be a domestic violence situation. Husband or wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, somebody's cheating on somebody, they just get this information. Well, where are they at? I'm gonna go deal with them at work. So it could be a domestic violence situation. Could be a child custody. It's that, in this day and age, you have no idea what will set somebody off enough that they're gonna take a gun and go in and start shooting. Now, sometimes they go in direct, which we've seen in studies, they'll go in and specifically go after one person. But if you're in the way, you may be the first person that they come to. Okay, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but you have to be alert. How am I going to survive? How am I going to get out of here? Okay, so say we have an active shooter. They come in and they're downstairs. Okay, Andrew just took me through the building a little bit. So out this way, when we get out, and there's a back way to get out. Okay, suppose they get in the building, they've signed in for whatever reason, and they get one of these, so they've got a reason to be in the building. Now I'm sure they have to give some kind of, reason for being in the building, but if they come in because you don't have a secured area, they come in, they race right past the desk, up the stairs, so now they're up here, and they're in the warehouse area, and they're shooting back there. Where's my exit? It's if you're downstairs, or if you're up here, how do I get out of the building? Downstairs and out. Know that, don't get caught up, and don't, in so much fear that you can't react. If you do, and you feel like, say he's outside this door, and I gotta be able to, survive, I gotta be able to lock myself in here, do something. Try the chairs, try the podium back there, lay it down across here. He comes in here, you go out that door. He comes in that door, you go out that door. Don't be a target. If you can't get out of a building, or out of a room, specific room, pick up something. I know this is just a little water bottle. Unfortunately, Andrew, why don't you stand up? We use my flashlight maybe. That's how you turn it on right there. Well, I'll actually use it. So Andrew's I'm gonna be the shooter. So I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna try not to blind you. I'm gonna train my flashlight as the barrel of my gun. I'm gonna train it right on his chest, cause I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna shoot Andrew. So what does Andrew do? Now he's confronted. Now what's he gonna do? He's gonna throw something at me. So if I'm coming in here, I'm gonna shoot him. This is where my thought process. I'm not looking at his face. I'm looking right here. I'm gonna shoot him right here. So just toss your pen at me. If he's moving, and I try to move, he just threw me off my target. So he throws it like this. So I go this way, or I go that way, trying to dodge him. That gives you an opportunity to get out, or get by him, or counter, as Alice says, attack. You can attack this person. If you're in fear for your life, thanks, Andrew. If you're in fear for your life, react, do something. It's just like first aid. If somebody's down and they're choking or what have you, do something. Whether you know CPR or not, do something. Help this person keep that blood flowing through their body. You're in danger for your life. If the guy's carrying a rifle and he's right on top of you, and you've got nowhere to go, you can't pick up something, grab the barrel of the gun. I know it may be hot, it may burn your hands, but you're alive. You know what I mean? He can't play tug of war and still try to shoot you. Now, hopefully, at that point, somebody else will jump in and attack this person and take. And Andrew's going to get into all that. Swarming is what they call it, that type of thing. But if you have the presence of mind to pick up, and it doesn't matter what it is. If you pick up, like I said, this water bottle, pick up the computer, pick up this. I know it's expensive. Don't replace it. Pick this up, throw a chair. throw the coffee maker back there. Throw something as a distraction area. Anything that's gonna help you not cower in the corner. We did an active shooter out at Ehovie last year, and just hearing a gunshot sends some people into a lockdown. They lock down, they freeze up. You have to do something. And so I actually played one of the bad guys. So I was able to get into a room because the door was open where they were hiding, because it used to be the run, hide, fight type of mentality. They tell you to go hide in the corner, that type. We're telling you to do something, save yourself. So I came in the door, and I just had a airsoft gun, and I was able to come in, and people were hiding in the corner. They're all targets. Okay, so if you can prevent them from getting in the door, or if you can't and they get in the room, you need to be prepared to start throwing something at this person. Anything. Okay? Game on. Your life is on the line now. Don't care what you throw at them. Don't care how bad you hurt them. Okay? It's you or them. It's just like myself. Any act of violence towards me it's me or you. Okay? You have to have that same mentality. Because when the police get here, we're going to where the shots are fired. Okay? Whether we have to step over somebody, push somebody out of the way, I'm going to where the shots are fired. Okay? Because I have that mentality. I have to stop the active shooter. Plain and simple. I was at a school SRO for 5 years here in town, and I always had that thought process in my mind. What if somebody comes here? What if somebody does this? What if somebody does that? You got to be constantly thinking. I know you got a job to do, but in this day and age, if somebody comes in, you have to be prepared. You have to do something. I would love for you to be able to get out of the building. That would be the ultimate scenario. They come in down here, you go out there. But like Andrew just explained to me a little bit ago, we've got some challenges because we got some special needs people. We got to get them out of the building too. So you got to be concerned with them also. So we got to get them out because they may not understand what you understand. So we got to get them out of the building too. So, and I'm sure he's going to cover all this and hopefully like I said, we're going to get together and do some practical stuff, and we'll work on that because you need to be prepared. And I'll touch on one more thing. When officers get here, unfortunately, I guess there was a situation, some guy in Texas was gonna take a bunch of people hostage, and the one guy was able to get the gun away from the guy somehow, but his hands weren't completely tied, but he was able to get the gun away from this guy. The officers came in, and he was trying to put the gun down, and they shot him, unfortunately. I wasn't there, so I don't know the whole situation, but when we get here, if somebody is shot, you need to understand, we're not gonna stop to help that person. I'm going to stop the shooter. That's my number one priority. We've trained, the way we train, we come in, we go to the active shooter. We have people coming in behind us to take care of the wounded or the victims, okay? You have to understand that too. I know that may be your best friend laying there, one of your coworkers. You gotta get out of the building. Because if you stop and try to help them, you're gonna be a target too, okay? Save yourself, get out of the buildings, we'll come, and we'll deal with that situation. But we got, our number one priority is stop the active shooter, okay? So, just rehashing this a little bit, if you can get out of the building, get out of the building. Just be aware of where the shots are coming from. And you, believe me, in this type of building, you're gonna be able to tell where the shots are coming from. If they're downstairs, it'll be more of a muffled thing. You'll be able to hear. We did this at Human Services just a few months ago. In the back of the building, you can tell it's a gunshot. It may be muffled, but it's a gunshot. If you hear it back there, you go out here. Downstairs, you go out there and go away from the building, okay? When officers are coming to the scene, make sure they can see your hands, okay? If you are one of the folks that may be able to disarm the gunman, take the gun, put it in a trash can. And the reason why we say that, because an officer comes in into the room, and he said, and somebody yells, "The gun's over there." Where? It's in the trash can. That's not a threat to us. I can take the trash can out in the hallway and deal with the gun later, okay? Don't hold on to the gun, because we don't know who the shooter is, okay? Until we get that gun, get the person that's the active shooter. If you are able to get the gun away from somebody, put it somewhere where we can get it later, okay? Don't hold on to the gun, because we don't know who you are when we come into the building, okay? It's very important, okay? Are there any questions I can answer before? Okay. I hope I'm not have been a downer, but this is a serious situation, and it you know, there's no joking around. And when we do scenarios, and we'll have a little bit of fun. We'll, you know, see what you did wrong, or, you know, kind of try to critique you the best way we can. But the ultimate thing is, you guys go home at the end of the day. Okay, get you out of the building, get you to think not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. Keep that in mind, because it can happen anywhere. Okay.